This video explains how to set up the HinksPix Pro to use the RS-45 interface. The RS-45 interface is commonly used with legacy devices using RS-45. This interface is often called E1.11 or DMX 1990. This is a differential signaling system that typically has a positive, negative, and a ground. Now, this jack or plug right here is the connection that can be used to make that. You will notice that it has screw terminals. Now, your particular controller may have XLR or 3-pin plugs on it. You may need to make adaptations to work with that. So you may have to cut some wires, strip them, and then put them in there. Now, noted on here on the board, but not shown in this photo, is positive, negative, and ground. And we have charts available on our website that show what those pins are for various different devices, such as Lightorama controllers or XLR 5-pin and 3-pin devices. All right, now that we know that we are going to be using this output, we need to figure out how to configure it. So let's go ahead and go to the HinksPix controller. Now the HinksPix is using the design tool. If you do not see this, you need to update your firmware. Your firmware should be either 109 if you have the version 1, version number 925, or it should be 110 if you are version number 929, version 2 of the HinksPix. Either way, you'll go to the Design tab. Now, you probably already have some information configured on the Design tab, and so you'll be adding to it. And so I don't have any existing design, so I am just going to add only this DMX port. Now, first thing I need to do is, you can see we have the various different long range and SPI outputs, but this checkbox right here is for DMX. That is the DMX output. And what we would do is we would put in here, for example, LOR controllers, or maybe you might put in here moving heads or par cans. Whatever it is that you're going to be controlling, this will be an entire universe. Now, it's important to understand that this DMX output, which is the jack shown here, has one full universe of output with channels 1 through 512. So when you configure your device, it will have no universe on it. Legacy DMX 1990 devices only have channels. You'll set typically dip switches for a specific start channel. So for example, if you have two controllers, let's say one controller is 3 channels and the second controller is 3 channels. You might use channels 1, 2, 3, and you would set the first device to start channel 1, and then 4, 5, 6, the second device to start channel 4. See your manufacturer's details on how to set the dip switches appropriate. Note, it's very important to understand that no legacy E1.11 or DMX 1990 device has any universe. The universe is set at the controller. So dip switches do not mean universes. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put in here the universe. Now, if we'd already had some others, we may put another universe. I'll just put 100 as our universe, and I'll say, let's say we want all 512 channels. And we now have that. I'm going to go down here to the physical port. Notice this says green connector. I click on it, it turns green, and I go up here and I click that. You get a beep, and it now maps this universe, 100 with 512 channels, over to this DMX connector. Now, you would need to perform a design check, and now it does say there are no driver boards because we do not have any other items configured. You would need to save this design, and then you would need to go to Manage Controller Configuration, load that design, and then configure your application to output data to Universe 100 at the appropriate channel output. And this is how you configure the HinksPix Pro for DMX 1990 or E111.